Hi crafters, Karen here, and I'm super excited to be back doing the Color Cube series with all of you. I know that the Color Cubes are a huge hit, especially with Crafty Al's subscribers, and a lot of you are also my subscribers. And I'm also excited to be back doing the Color Cube Lives with Crafty Al. We did take that summer off, and we resumed back last week. That was our first video back after the summer break, and we really had a blast. And that definitely had inspired me to get back into doing the Color Cube series for my viewers. Now, if you were part of if you watched the live last week, or if you were there with us while we were crafting, these are the cards that were left to be voted on to use for the cards that we made last week. So Crafty Al's card was 211, mine was 379, and then the channel members got to vote, and the winner from the channel members was card number 326. Now, I will tell you a little secret. Behind the scenes, before we knew what the channel members' winner was going to be, this was another card that was in the running, and this was a close second. And as I mentioned, Crafty Al and I were really hoping that this was going to be the winner. We really liked the color palette here, super pretty. But it did come in a close second, as I mentioned. So after the video, after we did our live, we chatted a little bit after, and we both agreed that that was definitely going to be a card that we would be using in the near future. And with that said, Crafty Al had, maybe a couple of days later, she had shared with me some cards that she made using that palette. And I said to her, I did the same thing. And so I, shared her my card that I made using that palette. And then we agreed that, we would do a video. And then if you look in the description box below, you will see the link for Crafty Al's video to see the cards that she made with the leftover palettes that we had left. And unfortunately, I cannot share the card that I already made last week live today in this video, because I had already mailed it out to the winner. So if you want to see what that card looks like, you can go ahead and check out you can see the live, watch the replay. I'll have that in the description box below as well, so you can check that out if you missed it. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. I'll share with you the cards that I made with these cubes. To remind you, if you watched the video, or even if you didn't, that what I did for my card was I used the Tailored Expressions Sweet Shop stamp and stencil set. Unfortunately, this is discontinued. They do not make this anymore. And in conjunction with this, I also used this Celebrate Confetti embossing folder, and I also used the Tailored Expressions Sprinkles stencil as well. I chose for last week's live, and just to share with you the colors that I picked, I did go with my Tim Holtz Distress Oxides for these. I haven't used them in a long time, and I really wanted to bring them in. And, well, it didn't matter anyway, because my card wasn't chosen. But I still had the opportunity to create a card after the live. So I used the Peacock Feathers, the Kitsch Flamingo, the Chipped Sapphire, the Hickory Smoke, and the Dried Marigold. And this is the card that I made using this color palette. And then on the inside, I layered it with white cardstock. I had an extra cupcake that I put on the inside, along with these three that I also had created. And then that circle that I cut out from the sprinkles, I just layered on the inside. And then for card number 326, the dies that I used here were, again, I did use Tim Holtz. I used the tea dye, the aged mahogany, crackling campfire, and the fired brick. I also used black, but I used it as my card base that you see right here. So again, pretty much the same kind of thing. Card base is black, as I mentioned, and I did do an oopsie with this. That's why I don't have the circle here on the inside. When I was layering my pieces on the front, the glossy accents didn't dry all the way, and it got wet, and then I had to take everything off. And also, I had put these cupcakes, I put them inside, and I didn't have enough to put on the front. So I had accidentally put them in the wrong place. I had to take them off, and when I took them off, I kind of ripped it. So I had to cut my cardstock in half and then relayer it on another piece of black cardstock. But you know what? It was salvageable, and it worked. Now I had so much fun with these, color cubes that I went ahead and I made even more cards. I used the Create in Quad stencil, poster prints, I think this one is called. And I made the 4 cards. You get 4 cards anytime you use the Create in Quad stencils by Tailored Expressions. And again, I just, used the same palette, and I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but I mean, overall, I really am happy with the final turnout. I had this butterfly punch that I have in my stash, and I just punched that out on white cardstock, and then I took my aged mahogany and I just dabbed some ink on there. This was a sentiment that I got from scrapbook.com. It's one of those where you have like 8 or 10 different sentiments on one stamp, and then you get a die that you can cut out all the pieces from. And then I brought in my swirl embossing folder and added that on the backdrop. And that cardstock is actually from Cricut, and it came very close to matching that flame color that's on the back of the card. And I left these blank just because the sentiments that I was wanting to use, they were too small and they were kind of getting lost on the cards. So I just left them blank. And then on the inside, I will need to add some white cardstock, and then I will put a sentiment on the inside for those. And then for card number 245, I did struggle with these colors, but I had the colors in my different inks. So I had some in my VersaFine, I had some in as a dye ink. I had some as my Tim Holtz Distress Oxides, and I typically don't ever combine different inks. If I'm going to do inks together, it's usually all dye or all the Tim Holtz or the VersaFine Clair. So this time I became a risk taker, and I did try to mix the colors. So I did use the VersaFine Clair Nocturne and Twilight ink there. And then I used my Speckled Egg and my Lumberjack Plaid. And I don't have it here in front of me, but I have the Memento. I did use a Memento dye ink turquoise color. And, I tried it, and here's the finished product. So you'll see that combining oxides and pigment ink and dye inks worked out just fine. So, I made sure that my pigment ink was completely dry before I moved on to adding other colors, because the pigment ink tends to take a little bit longer to dry. And then the oxides, they dry relatively quickly, not as quickly as dye inks do. So they're the same type of card with the cupcakes. I do need to add the glossy accents. I forgot to do that when I made the card. Brought in my birthday wishes sentiment from the Tailored Expressions All Together sentiment stamp set. And then here, that cutout circle I put on the inside, and I layered the extra cupcakes that I had here. And then again, I had some more fun and played with these same colors, and I used my brick embossing folder, and I actually layered the ink. Now, when I first played, all I could find was that pink. And again, that was all in the same, that was all the dye inks that I had. And to me, it didn't really quite kind of fit in even as the shade, but I went with it anyway. And so I just took my ink, I embossed, I inked up my part of the embossing folder, and then this is what it looks like after you do that. And then I had this picket fence from Spellbinders. I had this butterfly from Spellbinders, and I also ran the butterfly through my swirly embossing folder. And then again, I had this sentiment from scrapbook.com. And I will layer this with white cardstock. And here I did the kind of the same kind of thing. This is a 3D embossing folder. It definitely worked really well here, and just layered the inside of the embossing folder, layered the paper inside, ran it through my Big Shot, and that's what it looks like after you run it through. Again, use the picket fence. This card, I kind of feel like I cheated a little bit just because I did add some brown ink on the white picket fence because it was just too white for me. And what I mean by saying I cheated is I added a color that's not even part of the palette. And you're trying to use the palette to help you create the cards, and well, I just kind of wanted to add some of that brown on there. And I mean, at the end of the day, it really is just fine. And then again, I have that thank you from scrapbook.com, and then I have the white cardstock inside. And here you have the 3 color cube cards and their finished products and how they look. And what I love about this is how you can use different colors for the same card that you're going to make. And this is the turnout and how it looks when you use different color cube palettes. Until my next video, friends, I hope your day is a crafty day. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.